All right. Think we're good. What's up, people? Good morning. It's super bright in my room. This is going to be 30 minutes. Anybody watch this later? Hopefully, I at least shed some light on some stuff for you guys. Now, let's go ahead and get into this, man. I'm not even getting to no long intros, outros, none of that crap. We'll save that for RGT later today, 5 p.m. Make sure you guys pull up, show some support. I appreciate y'all. It's early. It is Friday, obviously. I appreciate everybody who is here already. What up, John? I see you, bro. What's up, Hyman? Let's get into this, man. So, I've been getting an influx of messages. Tons of messages. I know a lot of people might be going, why is this 30 minutes? Well, I actually have a podcast I got to do, and like a few, so I'm going to be cutting this. I've been getting an influx of messages involving the media and vice versa. A lot of you have been asking me what is my thoughts on the way things are with the current state of journalism, et cetera, et cetera. Now, if you've been following me for a long time, long before we got to where we are today, where I, have been able to talk to XYZ, I'm now working with IGN, the whole 9 yards. Before we even got to there, we've talked about this multiple times. And we talked about how media is all over the place. But you know the sad part about the media? The media knows they can say whatever they want about whether it be a game, a TV show, a movie, whatever the case may be, and people will still put stock into what they say and still listen to them and go around and praise and spread their stuff around. There are articles called hit piece articles, which you guys already know about. But if you don't know what a hit piece article is, let me explain what a hit piece article is. A hit piece article is used to slander somebody's credibility, character, overall their credibility. That's what a hit piece article is. Now, there's also an article by the name of traction articles. Traction articles are the main ones you see on the internet where they have some of the most ridiculous titles known to man. And they say stuff like, hey, PlayStation has no games. Xbox has a better value. Xbox has changed the landscape. PlayStation is far behind. Sony has nothing that can counter Game Pass. Sony doesn't have no games to fight until 2025. These are the articles that you see that are called traction articles. So when I see people passing around traction articles, and going, hey, the industry is quote unquote corrupt. The industry is messed up. Mind you, when we first started YouTube and I started doing my YouTube thing before I got into console war stuff at that time, right? You guys remember the articles that I linked for you? Were they not traction type of articles? Did I not say that in the fine print when I said that to you guys? This is nothing new to me, and I find it funny how people are all of a sudden now blowing these type of articles out of proportion and say these articles are what's destroying the industry and what's destroying journalism. At the end of the day, an opinion at the end of the day is what a review is, okay? Let me repeat that to you, and so you can understand what I'm saying to you. It doesn't matter if it's a review for a movie, a TV show, a video game in this case, or a different type of food or dish. It's an opinion at the end of the day. It's one person's opinion. That's it. So if you are at this point where you believe that, listening, and I quote, listening to every single Mo and Joe's review that is a bad one and saying that journalism is corrupt, but yet you're the same person who will spread around that same article, that same industry type of publication, right? When they say something like GT7 is fantastic, you're not really fixing the issue. You're not. If you really want to be up against journalism, it helps to not give them the traction that they absolutely want, wouldn't you say? It helps to not spread that around and go about it. But the issue is everybody falls for the bait. This is why I laugh, because it's like you're in a constant loop. You think you're past it and you're not. You go right back to square one. You'll go, hey, for example, right? And we'll get to this other game in a second, but we'll say Horizon Forbidden West. Like I said on RGT, Horizon Forbidden West is a technical marvel. What they've done with that game is fantastic, right? But let a review say that Horizon Forbidden West is more of the same. And people go, how is it more of the same? Well, it does reuse assets. We're not debating this, right? It does reuse assets. What you're seeing with Horizon Forbidden West is more of a refinement and, refinement, and you're seeing better visuals. Pretty much at the core of its main landscape, it's pretty much the same game, so to speak, but, done better. It performs better. This is the type of stuff you'll see on the internet, man. But you know what's wild to me, though? It's wild to me. Let a game get a higher review than something like Horizon. All of a sudden, everybody's part of the problem. I seen people say something I never thought I would see. People are saying From Software game is overrated. From Software is overrated? Guys, what? From Software gave us one of the greatest PlayStation exclusives we had in a long time with the PS4. Am I the only one who remembers Bloodborne? Now because they came out with a multiplat that's getting higher reviews than Horizon, From Software can't get their flowers? I mean, it was already, it's not even a damn surprise that this game got so high of a rating. It's not. It's not. From Software is that good. From Software's game was the most anticipated game. Do you guys remember the Game Awards, which I told you guys this was going to happen? It's the most anticipated game. But all of a sudden, this studio is overrated? Come on, man. Come on. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. The internet's funny to me. The internet really is funny to me. It just flips. It always flips to something weird every single time. There's always some weird conspiracy. There's no conspiracy. Every review is an opinion. Every opinion is going to differ. It's going to differ. Not everybody is going to have the same opinion that this game's going to be a 10 out of 10, an 8 out of 10, a 9 out of 10. It's going to be whatever it is, which is why I say in the title here that the person that's going to determine whether or not a game is good or bad is you. It comes down to you. If we go strictly off of Metacritic score, I think all of us should be hating the Order 1886. The Order 1886 one of the coolest games we played in a long time for the PS4. I'm just saying, man. If I was going off of just Metacritic scores, don't you think logically I would hate that game? No, I love that game. Oh, man. I'm just saying, man. I don't know what to tell you guys, man. It really is a sheep mentality. Guys, it ain't that deep. It's not that deep. If you think it's that deep, hey, man, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what can I do to persuade you at that point. I mean, your mind is made up if you think there's like studios out here to get PlayStation. Because if that was the case, don't you think they'd be out there to get Nintendo, Microsoft as well? Not every Microsoft game gets 9s, 8s. But of course, people don't want to hear that. They want to hear that the industry is bad, but then they want to go on their knees and praise the industry when they praise a game that they think is this whole holy grail, right? And when that game, when they're done playing it, which is about a week or two, these same dudes would be the main ones going, "Oh, this game was that game was this masterpiece," but they're not even playing it. They're acting like they're playing it. I see this every time. They act like they're playing these games. They're not playing them. Listen, man. It ain't that deep. It really ain't that deep. Shout out to Envy for 13 months. Appreciate you, bro. But no, it's not that deep. And I don't know where we're gonna go with this. I don't know where we're gonna go. Hold on. See, I disagree with that. Horizon doesn't look boring. Horizon is like, okay, let me explain this so people can really understand this. When you see sequels, it's going to get to a point with the consoles, right? Especially when you're getting sequels. It's going to get to that point where the games are going to feel more of the same, and you're just going to get refinements. You're going to get better AI, right? You can get better performance, which you're getting in Horizon Forbidden West. But a lot of people want more. It's going to be tougher to incorporate stuff that's going to change the overall landscape of a game type of thing to keep it fresh. It's going to get to that point when they do everything. They've done everything at this point, right? And it's just going to be more of the same, refined, faster, to the point. It's going to have better stories. That's what they're going to use to keep those games fresh. If you look at Uncharted in the franchise. That's actually a perfect example. Remember how bare bones Uncharted was with the first one? Then Uncharted 2 introduced a new staple for the game, right? And after that staple was introduced, part 3 and 4 and all that stuff going forward, they added some other stuff. The main thing they added was the rope mechanic, and that changed it for the most part to end the franchise. But at the same time, there was not much else added afterwards. You see what I'm saying? They just improved upon it, whether it be conversations, whether it be the cutscenes, whether it be the hit detection, the overall lip syncing. They improved it. They refined it. This is stuff you're going to see down the road. Eventually, you're going to get to that point where sequels are just going to be refinements of what you saw previously with better stories, hopefully, right? That's what we just want. It's going to be tougher for sequels to do this. So that's why I'm not blown away that scores might not be super high for games that have sequels. If you look at the Uncharted collection, right? Uncharted collection just dropped on PC. Guess what the score is? You would think with all the improvements, the 60 FPS, all that stuff, right? You would think that game easily would hit like a 90 on Metacritic. It's sitting at like an 87. An 87 on Metacritic. So does that say the games are mid? No, it's just, that's just where we are. It's more of the same, just with refinements. And this is an issue you're going to see with sequels. Now, again, does that mean that sequels are bad? No, we want sequels. We want games to improve and get better. We want continuations of stories. That's not the issue. But don't be surprised when something brand spanking new gets a higher review score or outperforms something that has, a fan base behind it. Don't be surprised. I mean, look at Horizon by itself. Horizon was something brand spanking new, right? And it outperformed a lot of PlayStation games that came before it. A lot of them. In fact, with the PS4 and PS5, it's like the first gen that Sony really started to really go over the top in terms of sales with these games. If we go back to the PlayStation 3, if Sony had the same type of success they did with the PS4 and 5, we would be seeing a hell of a lot more games from the PS3 making their jump back to PS5 or 4. We would have saw that by now. Resistance Fallen Man, the Resistance franchise didn't sell crazy a lot. Now, did it, people? No, it did not. Didn't sell ridiculously well. Infamous, it sold okay, but not super well compared to the others. You see what I'm saying? It differs. It really differs. And people need to understand that. Not every single game is going to do these crazy numbers. Not every single game. It's going to differ. And when it gets to that point, you have to understand how stuff works. That's it. There's no conspiracy. I had somebody hit me up like yesterday about this. They was like, yo, dude, are you afraid to talk about this? I'm sitting there facepalming playing Elden Ring like, what you mean I'm afraid to talk about this? What am I talking about? The industry? There's no surprise that the industry has its fair share of moments. Let's just put it like that. They have their fair share of moments. Like, for example, let me go ahead and throw this at you guys. Since Batman's coming out, right? Or Batman's out today. Riddle me this. What game launches in the same broken state every single year? Well, it used to. Every single year. They want $60 for it, and yet miraculously, the game gets 90s on Metacritic, and the game gets 90s on YouTube from different articles or different news sites. And it's a multiplayer game, and the multiplayer doesn't work. I'll give you a hint. It starts with a C. I'll let you guys answer that. Come on. Nothing new here. Nothing new. Hold on. Let me go down here. My chat's moving down. There you go. Call of Duty. That's Call of Duty. Is anybody surprised that Call of Duty gets 90s on Metacritic or 80s on Metacritic? Well, now people drop the Kool-Aid or they stop drinking the Kool-Aid, so the scores are low, right? But was anybody surprised back then why Call of Duty was getting 90s and everything else that we saw that was fresh and unique was not getting anywhere close to that? Is anybody surprised? No, nobody should be surprised because that's how the things were. In fact, many people would even say that the media was bought to advertise Call of Duty. So again, if we're talking about this that long ago, for that long, why is this such a big surprise now that people are bringing up journalism and whatnot here? It has nothing to do with the situation. Things are different. Not every game is going to score what you think it is. And when people look at price ranges too, again, I keep bringing up price range. I got no problem with the 70. I mean, I pay 70 for the games. I got no issues. But for a lot of people, they also put a lot of emphasis on that score too when they look at that price range and what they're getting. Believe it or not, that also helps. That also affects people. So I'm just saying, man, things have changed drastically. And that's true. That's absolutely true, MV Dub. It does pay to think for yourself. Don't put your self-worth in anybody's opinion, whether it be a review score, a YouTuber's perspective of the game. A lot of you guys absolutely love Last of Us Part 2. You guys already know my history with the game. So I'm just going to move that off to the side. But a lot of people love that game and they enjoy it. They hold it to like the highest caliber of PlayStation exclusives, right? I definitely hold it up to the highest caliber in terms of Naughty Dog's, craft, right? That game does some amazing stuff and it shows Naughty Dog's reach. It shows Naughty Dog's, development as they went forward. That shows that, you see what I'm saying? But my opinion is mine. That's my view. You see what I'm saying? Your view is different from the game. Some of you might love it. Some of you might hate it. Let's throw another game into the mix here. Infamous Second Son. I absolutely loved Infamous Second Son, and I loved First Light. But guess what? I would argue with you, and I would say that First Light was better than Infamous Second Son. A lot of you probably would agree with me that you liked Second Son, or First Light, sorry, over Second Son. You know what I'm saying? There are different opinions, and it happens every single time. Not everybody is going to agree with your opinion on a video game. That's just how the industry is going to go. And this is not me, silencing nobody. I'm with you guys. If you guys want to speak up and speak for and want change, you got to be a part of the change. But how do you be a part of the change? You have to do the necessary steps to make change. Retweeting it around, right? Constantly retweeting it around, giving it traction, and just highlighting it, saying, oh, the industry is bad, blah, blah, blah. That's not really going to do anything. That's not going to discredit the article. If anything, you're just going to have people look at you weird and go, oh, look at these dudes. He thinks he knows more than an actual paid journalist. I kid you not. That's how people talk. You want to not give it traction? Don't visit the sites. Why do you think there's more traction articles? Come back to that. Why do you think there's more traction articles than there's articles out here that are actually informing you of actual news that's proper? Because it's harder to get into the bubble without having the actual traction to be in the situation. When you have sites like IGN, you have GameSpot, you got Game Informer, right? You got all these big major outlets, even G4, you want to throw them out there. It's tough to get noticed in these type of situations. Hence why traction articles are thrown out, you guys, like nonstop. You see them everywhere. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be one for Xbox. It could be one for PlayStation. You guys remember, it said Xbox has no games. Xbox in the worst shape ever, right? And those traction articles will be the main things you see dudes make videos about Xbox for. Same thing goes to PlayStation. PlayStation's lost touch. It doesn't have games. It doesn't have a service to compete with Game Pass. You'll see dudes make videos out of that. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's where things are. It differs. It is a difference of opinion at the end of the day when it comes to reviews. But traction articles have always been around and they will never go away. And the reason why they won't go away, because people continue to share them around and fall for the simple trap. It's a trap. You fall for it every single time. And if you think you're not falling for the trap, if you're, listen, I want you to look at your timeline. And I'm going to tell you right now if you're falling for the trap. If you're retweeting every single article about Xbox, let's say you're a PlayStation guy, I'm just throwing this out here. If you're a PlayStation guy and you're retweeting every article for Xbox that says something bad about the console, you're falling for the trap. Those articles right there are the main ones that get the most traction, next to PlayStation ones as well. Same thing goes for Xbox. There's Xbox dudes who share these around for PlayStation. Happens all the time. It's nonstop. It doesn't stop. And yeah, I agree. You got to get off of Twitter, man. You got to get off of Twitter. Twitter is not helping the situation. Twitter amplifies it so bad, and people just don't get it. It amplifies the whole situation. Red Hood said, go to sleep. I didn't sleep, you fraud. What I don't understand is why Horizon Forbidden West got score lower than his predecessor. When Horizon Zero Dawn is like jumps Uncharted 1 and 2 when everything is Horizon. So let me answer that. It is improved, definitely, right? They got better bow mechanics, the attention to detail, right? All that stuff. We've seen all that with Horizon Forbidden West. It's gotten better. But like I said before, CB, a lot of reviewers, they look at games especially when they're in the sequel range, they don't really look at necessarily what it offers. They're looking at what it does different. So I'm going with this. So when you look at that at base value and you compare Forbidden West and you compare Horizon Zero Dawn, what's really different? Controls are pretty much the same, right? Yeah, you got a grappling hook this time around, and yeah, they changed a few things in terms of the AI, but overall, it's essentially the same thing. It's still an open world. You're going from point A to point B. You're doing quests. And I'm going with this. That's how people look at this type of stuff. So when they see something that's kind of more of the same, that's what they put it into. It's more of the same, but refined. That type of game does not get a higher score, in their opinion, than something that is brand new, that is doing something completely different, or something that is, you know what I'm saying, that's offering more, that changes the pace of a game. The reason why Elden Ring has gotten such a higher reaction from a lot of people is the fact that it's an open world game, and this is a Souls type of game. Souls games are really well received. We've seen this with Bloodborne. We've seen this with Sekiro. We've seen this with games like Nioh. We've seen this with games like the Dark Souls series, right? All these games have a select fan base for, and these games are well loved and respected, and people want freedom in those games. So here comes Elden Ring, the game to give you that freedom, and people like that and have actually flocked to it, and that's why the scores have went up. You see what I'm saying? That's what they want to do. So that's what people want. That's one of the main things, one of the main criticisms people want, or people have had for Souls games. They're not as crazy open. This game breaks the immersion of that. Plus, it gives you more ways to get around with the horse and everything. People like that type of stuff, man. They do. What does Horizon do? Horizon does a lot of incredible stuff. They do the cutscenes amazing, right? Character models, all that stuff is like top notch. That's like the best I've seen on PlayStation. In fact, Horizon Forbidden West beats Demon's Souls in terms of the visuals. They actually outshine the competition there. They've done it. They set a new standard, you know what I'm saying, in the game. But, you know, again, man, when you come back to that conversation of refinements, that's what people look out for, man. You got to understand that. Is it fair? Again, even if it's not fair to a lot of people who might think so, it might not be fair to you. But this is why I say that you, at the end of the day, it's up to your opinion on whether or not the game is good or bad. This is why I don't think people should be putting so much stock in reviews for games. You know what I'm saying? There's tons of games that score lower than this that are actually well received from a lot of us. People, I mean, come on. How many people still talk about Rise as being a good Xbox game? You know what I'm saying? Rise scored really bad. So did the Order. Order scored pretty bad. But again, it has a following. What else scored really bad and has a following, people? Go ahead. I'll let you guys answer this. Tons of games, man. Envy Dub with the 2. He says, glad I left Twitter. Too much foolery on there. Bro, you lose your mind how much foolery goes on Twitter. Too much, man. Too much. So much effort put on that, man. Ukulele. Okay. What else? Come on. I know y'all got a game that scored low that y'all thought was 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. For example, Velocity 2X. I'll throw this one out to you. Velocity 2X. It's an indie game. I don't think it got crazy high scores on Metacritic, but I thought that game was fire. I actually went on to platinum that. Great game. Another game, Apotheon. I thought that game was going to be annoying. Ended up liking it. That's another game. That's an indie game. Guacamelee. It's another one. Guacamelee got like an 80-something. Should I'm going with this? Doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter. Don't put your self-worth into these reviews. Do not do that. What did Resogun get? What did Resogun get? I forgot what Resogun's score was. I'm not sure if Resogun scored in the 90s. Probably did. So I'm iffy with that. But again, there's tons of games. Horizon has a Gwent-like minigame, but that's never mentioned. Yeah. Yep. Days Gone. There you go. That's another one. Days Gone. How many people like Days Gone? And Days Gone got review bombed, all that, and it was still fire. For me, Spider-Man was a 93, but it scored an 87. See? So I'm going with this, David. You determine whether the game is good or bad, not the publications. And if you don't want to give the publications power, don't feed into the articles or share them around or make videos about them. It's that simple. That's how you counter it. That's really how you counter an article, man. I've seen so many people gain, not even traction, right? But a lot of people got to that point where they're like, oh, they're gaining credibility because they call out stuff like this on Twitter, like in these, these little clickbait traction articles, and they'll say something weird, like, again, Sony sucks, whatever, and people will go, yeah, this guy is the truth, this guy is right, but they fail to read the article in the fine print. In the fine print, he'll probably mention something that's old data, something that we've already known before. Happens every time. You see this in YouTube videos all the time. Dudes will tell you something crazy is happening, right? You look at the articles, and in terms of the news, it doesn't even match the wording, nor does it match the excitement that the title was telling you. See? It happens all the time, man. It's just how it is. That's how the industry is at this point. And I'm not saying that I'm deaf to it. I just find it funny because it really is not that. It's blown out of proportion. I would say that. It's gotten to a point where it's seriously blown out of proportion. And I think a lot of people really need to understand a lot of stuff about it. So, there's that. There's that, man. It's like, bro, people are getting offended just because they see somebody play Horizon or hell, even Elden Ring. Dude, play what you want. Enjoy your games. This is the best month for games. Let's give it a buck. This has got to be the best month we've had in games. So why are people being petty and like going, this game looks bad, this game can't compete with this one, when these games are from studios that have already proven themselves. From Software has proven themselves time and time again that they can make quality games. They've given us one of the highest forms of quality games with Bloodborne that many people are asking for a sequel for. Guerrilla Games giving you Horizon Forbidden West. They proved themselves for Horizon Zero Dawn. Why aren't we playing Horizon Forbidden West? Why are we comparing Horizon Forbidden West and Elden Ring and trying to look for something so stupid as a difference? Why are we doing that? You got GT7, Gran Turismo 7, which, by the way, I'm not buying. I'm not a racist sim guy, but it looks good. Looks fantastic. I don't take nothing from that game. I'm not a racist sim guy. If I was a racist sim guy, I'd be all over that. But I'm not a racist sim guy. It looks good. Shout out to Lincoln Clay. I saw him play it. He was having the time of his life. So shout out to Clay, J-Dub, Carlos, all of them. They play those racing sims. I'm not a racist sim guy. But still, this is the best month I've ever seen for games. Why aren't people playing the games? More people on Twitter looking for something to complain about instead of playing the games that are supposed to bring us joy. And mind you, this is a problem that we usually cry about. We usually have something to talk about. We argue about. Bro, there is no games dropping this gen. There is no games dropping this month. Just look at the quality that we got this month. We even got Dying Light 2. How many people actually beat Dying Light 2? I know people ain't really, not that many people beat Elden Ring. Shout out to Struggle. He beat Elden Ring. I haven't beaten it yet. Right? But the point stands. There's a lot of stuff to be excited for and happy for. Enjoy your games. Play them. Experience them. Don't let nobody else take away your excitement or your fun. Never. Exactly. You know what? That's a good thing. If you got too much to play, trust me, that is a good thing. That means you're eating good. Enjoy your games. Play them. Don't worry about all this weird stuff. Play your games. The only time I would say worry about it is when it affects our ability to play quality games. Ain't nothing affecting our experience. Ain't nothing affecting us as a whole. And to the people that are lying to themselves saying, oh, it affects me, it don't affect you. Because half the dudes who claim like they got this problem or they want to quote unquote support the developers, they don't even buy the games day one. Now, I dare somebody in the chat say I'm lying. How many of these dudes who spend all this time on Twitter, YouTube, etc., how many of these dudes buy these games day one? And actually show proof they bought it day one and stream them? How many? How many of these dudes who say games are easy don't show screenshots of the title screen or, the credits of the game? If a game is easy, that means you beat it, right? Okay. Where's the credits? I seen dudes throw that around for From Software game, from Elden Ring. Elden Ring's easy. I'm going to tell you right now, if you beat a few handful of side bosses and you ain't beat a main boss yet, you haven't seen the difficulty spike in Elden Ring. I promise you. Don't get carried away now. Yeah, there are bosses you can run into around the world, which is why I love people. People are just loving the game. You can get lost and run into a boss, right? But if you ain't played the main bosses and you ain't beat the main bosses, trust me, yeah, you ain't beaten the game yet. I'm already at a point with Elden Ring where I'm not stuck, but I gotta beat the guy. I'm probably gonna do that after RGT today. So I'm going with this. Like it's gonna happen. We're gonna beat the game. Hopefully, we beat it in time. So. What up, Eastwest? But nah, it's wild to me. Exactly, Hurricane. Play what you like. If it's something you don't like, guess what? Don't play it. Now, if you are very interested in the game, right, and you're iffy on the game, and you really want to try it, but at the same time, you still can't bring yourself to buy it, why not watch a stream? You can watch a stream and watch somebody play it and get more of a feel of the game. But do me a favor, don't go around on Twitter and go, hey, the game's bad, because I seen it. Seeing a game and playing a game are completely different. I think we all can agree as a unit here in the chat. I see too much of that, too. I see too much of that. I'm just saying, hold up. I see too much of that, though. Dude's like, oh, I seen this dude play it. The game looks like it's mid. The game might look like it's mid, but doesn't mean that it's mid. For example, Guardians of the Galaxy. We all thought that looked mid. Remember that? When we first saw it? Ended up being a sleeper hit. See how I'm going with this? Play the game first. Make your mind up then. If it ain't for you, it ain't for you. You ain't even got to add your 2 cents. You can just say, hey, it's not for me. Move on and go to the next one. You see somebody playing Elden Ring, Horizon Forbidden West, don't be that guy and go over there and say, hey, how come you're not playing Elden Ring? How come you're not playing Horizon Forbidden West? How about you be happy for that person, that person's enjoying a game and you play your game? And then when that person's ready, he'll play that type of game that you're recommending. You ever think about that? Nobody should be forced to like what you have to like. That's what's called a cult. We're not a cult. We're gamers here. Understand me? We're gamers here. At the end of the day, we all have different opinions. We have different likes. We have different tastes. Some of you guys might like fighters. Some of you might like shooters. Some of you might like racers, adventure, action, horror. It comes down to you at the end of the day. It's a difference of opinion. Anybody trying to refute this or might refute this and say something stupid is an idiot and doesn't know what they're talking about. And it's captain for the internet. There you go. Those are some stats for you. You guys want stats? Those are some stats for you guys. The stats speak for itself. Gaming is all about preference. If you have a preference, enjoy it. Play it. Have fun. And enjoy your experience. That's it. There you go. 30 minutes. Went over 30 minutes. Raw, uncut. Just for you. Groupthink and people wanting others to validate the content. I don't know, East West. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's pathetic. Okay. Shout out to y'all. We had 60 people in the chat. It's mad early. I'm live doing this, so. Hold up. Let me find it. Big Cloud defending the industry he's working in instead of holding their feet in the fire. How am I defending the industry? How am I defending anything? I told you what it is. I told you the issues. I told you what you need to do to combat the issue. That's it. What exactly are you expecting me to do? You want me to run my mouth and start calling names? That does nothing. If anything, you're giving notoriety at that point to something that you think is a problem. You see where I'm going with this? A lot of you guys don't know how to combat stuff. You think being quote unquote edgy and being vocal everywhere you go, whether it be social media sites, have the people that you think people are listening to or you think people are actually taking notes for them, right? They're laughing at you at the end of the day. They're holding you on this, I kid you not, there's like a list. It's called a blacklist. They put you on this list of people who do not bother and do not take serious, right? And if it gets to the extreme parts where they find a reason to quote unquote respond to, it's much more drastic than this. Trust me. Make no mistake about it. There's a petty side everywhere you go. There's a petty side to this industry. This industry, as much as that it can be quiet and cool and collected, it can be much more gruesome than you think it is. And a lot of people don't even know the basis of what they're talking about. So, I'm the same, bro. What up, son? You saying we should speak up because it hasn't changed since the start of the next gen. No. One. Again, if you want to speak up, speak up. You can definitely speak up, but there are ways of speaking up. You see what I see now on Twitter? All you're doing is bringing yourself down, if not lower, than what you're seeing in these articles. If the article says PlayStation sucks, right, and PlayStation fans are the worst, and you go around on Twitter saying all this stuff, bringing up their families, talking about the dude's credibility, talking about how the way the dude looks, guess what? You're proving his point in the article. This is what I'm trying to tell you. It's a mental thing you got to fix. There are ways to respond to stuff, and you can do it proper. You could do it better. I'm not saying take it. I'm not saying lay down and die. I am not saying lay down and die. I'm not saying it to nobody in the chat. If you feel a certain way about something, there are ways and steps you can take to respond and react to it. But if you're spreading it around, you're not helping the situation. I'm telling you, you're going to make it worse. But hey, what do I know? I'm just sipping sauce. All right. I came out wrong. But anyway, no, I'm just keeping a buck with you. So there you go. Early in the morning, I'm doing this. Because people want Big Cloud Unfiltered for a change. Here's some unfiltered truth for you right there about the industry. It ain't no conspiracy. If you think it's a conspiracy, you have no idea what you're talking about, and you have not been anywhere near. And trust me, I would know at this point. I would know. I promise you that much. Anyway, enjoy your day. See you guys for RGT if you want to join us. Yeah. Gaming talk, as it should. Lots to be excited for. A great month in gaming. And I'm looking forward to talk gaming. Hit that like button if you enjoyed. And of course, y'all be good. I'm out of here.